Hello? Okay, hopefully that works. Alright, let's see. Yay! It looks like there's microphone-age. So let me know, like I always do, because, you know, technical difficulties happen, if you can hear me. And if you can, then we'll move along. But already, we have people in the chat. Oh, I am heard. Thank you, Ben. It is so good to be heard. So good to be heard. We've got, let's see, Friendly Neighborhood Transgender Vampire, Haunted by Horror, awesome channel, by the way, Tony Rosa, Ben Grimm, Ariel Fangirl Mendez, Spooky Primo, Jinja Ninja JK. Wow, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. We are ready to hang out. So these hangouts are a little bit different than what I normally do, even on my other streams, because on a lot, it's very quiet. It's very quiet, but there is audio. Ooh, I could turn up the mic. Hello? Is that better? I don't know. Let me know if you can hear me better now that I have turned up the mic. Awesome. Dun, 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 dun. Uh-oh, what am I doing? Okay, so let me know if that's better. We'll see. We're gonna see. And let's see who's here. We have audio, and the audio, according to the Ginger Ninja, is good. The audio is good. It is the good audio, not the bad audio that you might have seen on a past Gory B Movie stream. So these are a little bit different. Are they super structured? No. Do I know what we're going to talk about? Not an idea. Are we going to hang out and you're going to have a conversation with me and we're going to hang out like buddies? Abso-flippin'-lutely, that's what we're going to do. So, we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. But until you know what you want to talk about, I got some other things. Hey, Valerie's here. I just saw Valerie over on Craven Something Scary. If you guys are not already subscribed or following Craven Something Scary, Steven over there is a massive Wes Craven fan, and he does so many great streams about Scream, and he's had amazing guests from the franchise on there, and I was really happy that he invited me over there today, and we just deep dive into so many Scream things. It was awesome. So absolutely, you should check that out if you haven't already. Or if you were like Valerie, you just did, and now you're here for the after party. Okay, let's see. So Sean says, have you seen X? Are you anticipating Jeepers Creepers Reborn? Okay, Sean, so I'll be honest with you. Financially, my life has not been the best. I did start 2 new jobs this month though, so that's going to change. But I have not been able to go to the cinema in a while, which is a real bummer. So I have not seen X. I really, really want to. That is, as soon as I go back to the cinema, that is my priority. And Jeepers Creepers Reborn. You know, I'm a little curious about Jeepers Creepers Reborn. There's not too many franchises where I want to see them handed over to somebody other than the creator. But in this case, 100%, please give it to somebody else. Because, I mean, I don't write off those Jeepers Creepers movies. Yes, Vincent Salva is a horrible person. And his mind is not a place that I really want to spend time in. But there are a lot of other people who contributed to the success of those movies, who did really good work. And I'm sure, like with so many other franchises, there are people who have great ideas for stories to tell in that world. And I would much rather hear what they have to say. So I'm 100% on board with this. You know I'm going to check it out. I watch everything. So of course I'm going to check it out. Dun, 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 dun. Valerie says we had a great time earlier. Yes, we did. It was so nerdy and so fun. And I enjoyed it. And today, so we're changing the drink up a little bit, though. So I was drinking 7-Up and whiskey over there. This is LaCroix. And it's limoncello LaCroix, just telling you it's the best. And we're going to throw in a little New Amsterdam vodka in this. So we're just mixing up things. Because, you know, I'm a witch. I just mix up stuff. That's what I do. Let's see. Ginger Ninja says he has heard, or I'm sorry, they have heard nothing but good things about X. I have learned anymore. I am not assuming anybody's gender pronouns. So I figured they is a safe way to go. Unless you tell me otherwise, I usually go with they. Dun, dun, dun. So I sing a lot. It's really obnoxious. I don't know how my husband and my son put up with me. Ben Grimm. By the way, Ben Grimm, I love your new profile pic. I don't get a chance to tell you this stuff often because usually I'm on other streams, but it is just delightful. And you just have such a lovely chiseled jaw, and I'm just so happy for you. And I'm really happy that you're not a Care Bear anymore, because I like the Care Bears, but it was a grumpy bear and it made me a little sad. Anyway, tangent aside, Ben says the guy who made Iron Sky is making Jeepers Creepers. Now, I'm embarrassed to say I have not seen Iron Sky, which is kind of a bummer because it sounds like it's kind of my kind of movie. And I know there's like 2 of those. I need to watch that, but I've heard it's great. Dun, 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 dun. Do I have a Netflix account? Asks Ariel. Yes, I do. Spooky Prima watched April Fool's Day earlier, so I'm all about that B movie life, and I love April Fool's Day. I remember seeing the poster. I remember seeing the video box cover back in the day. And it's so cool, the girl with her hair in a noose. I've tried to do that. My hair's never been long enough, which is a bummer. Because if my hair was super long, like Bianca Belair long, oh, you know I would have it like a noose all the time. But I love April Fool's Day. And April Fool's Day, it gets a fair amount of flack. A lot of people don't like the ending, but I think it's great. And I think it totally is in line with what the movie's about, which is it's April Fool's Day. Honestly, I find it more enjoyable than Slaughter High, which I do like Slaughter High, but of the 2 that have kind of this practical joke gone wrong premise, I prefer April Fool's Day. Let me know what your preferences are. Alrighty. And Tony, my buddy from Cheesy Movie Club, we watch a lot of cheesy movies together. He was here earlier and I missed him because I was on Craven's stream. But he says, you guys were drinking when I was over. I'd have dipped into the Captain Morgan. Dude, I don't have any Captain Morgan. I have some whiskey that I had earlier, some Southern Comfort that I mixed with some 7-Up. And now I'm mixing some New Amsterdam vodka with some LaCroix. I don't have any Morgan for you, brah. Don't. Alrighty. Ariel says, so, do I get to dress up for the Dead Meat Awards because I dressed up as Jennifer Tilly's character from House Arrest? I think, since you're watching it from the comfort of your own home, You can dress up however you want. But I do think award shows are even more special when you're dressed up for the event as well. It just makes you feel like you're a part of it. So 100%, I think you should dress up as Jennifer Tilly. Hey! I did just drop Bianca Belair's name, Danny. I did. And this is Arkham Knight Rider. So a lot of my friends, I have friends in different spheres, okay? Not all of my friends are on YouTube. Some of my friends are on Letterboxd, like Wickabear and Arkham Knight Rider are two of my buddies from Letterboxd. And they always have great reviews, and I really enjoy their content over there. We have then expanded our friendship to Twitter, and now every so often I'm lucky enough to have them check me out here on YouTube, which is pretty cool. Dun, 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 dun. Kevin of Haunted by Horror, which, by the way, he has a great channel. You guys need to watch it. I just am a big fan of Kevin. He covers a lot of the same movies I like. He covers a lot of, like, I like more obscure movies that I haven't seen a dozen reviews on. So when he does something cool, like he did Blackula, I'm just all about that because, it's not one that you see a lot of reviews. And I think these B movies, they deserve a little bit more love than they're getting. But he says, I love the ending of April Fool's Day. I do, too. I think it's awesome. And hello, Justin. How are you? Jen just says, April Fool's Day is a classic, much better than Slaughter. See, I agree. Though Slaughter High Mask was fire. I 100% agree with that, too. I think the costume was really good in Slaughter High. And, Ariel says, because the character played by Jennifer Tilly wears an adorable black dress on top and green on the bottom. Yeah, that's awesome. Now, I am covering up Boris here. Boris is my little buddy. Boris. The little raven down here, a little crow. I don't know if it's a raven or a crow. I can't tell the difference. Anyway, he's one of them. He's a blackbird. But he is keeping track of our road to 2K! I'm super excited. I'm all like pumped because I just got off a stream with Craven. Anyway, the road to 2K. I'm setting realistic goals for myself. So, by this summer, I want to try to get to 2K. And do numbers matter that much? No, they really don't matter. I'm just happy that anybody would care to watch something that I make. However, I have been more interested in getting this channel monetized because YouTube doesn't give a lot of priority to their creators who are not monetized because they're not making any ad revenue off of them. So, I'm like trying to care about the trends and all that stuff so I can get my channel monetized so it can find more people that love B movies that might enjoy it. And then I can make new friends. And then I'll be happier. And then plus with monetization comes the monies. And with the monies comes the power. And then ultimately world domination. So it's all part of a bigger plan. But no, I don't care about the numbers. What? I'm real. Anyway, I have been on a bigger channel. I was on Horror Addicts. I will say that there's a lot of perks to having a smaller channel. And one of them is that the comments are so much nicer when you have a smaller channel. So I'm really loving that. I hope that stays. Because I like when people are nice to me. You guys are very nice to me. Thank you. Even though I'm a dork. And I'm aware that I'm a dork. Let's see what you guys are saying. Dun, 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 dun. I'm missing stuff. I promised I wouldn't. Have I seen Stuart Gordon's Dolls? No, I haven't, but I love... Oh, wait, no. Actually, I haven't seen. I've seen Dolly Dearest. I've seen a lot of doll movies, but that is one that's been on my list for a while. And I'm going to tell you part of the reason I haven't seen Dolls is because Danny said that as a kid he saw it and he thought the poster was cool and the movie wasn't very good. Granted, Danny has told me some other movies were not very good, and then I watched them and I really liked them. So even though we share a lot of movie tastes, sometimes we have different opinions. So there's that. I might like it more than he does. Tony Rosa says Jennifer Tilly is my horror crush. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff that I don't understand because it's like he turned into the computer and Skynet is doing something to him. Anyway, it's really scary. I'm going to move this up here so we can see our road to 2K. I'm super excited about it. I feel like that is a achievable goal. An achievable goal. I'm not trying to get to 1 million here. Just 2K. I think we can do it. It's fun to have goals. All right, let's see what else is going on. Hey, Jen. Jen Werner, who I saw over in Craven Something Scary, she has never seen April Fool's Day, but yesterday was a blast. Did you watch it yesterday? You should absolutely watch it because it is really good. Dun, 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 dun. You guys are talking to each other. That's cool. Arkham Knight Rider. Been doing a thing where I binge a movie on Tubi, then proceed to the movie they recommend next. Got up to 4 movies per binge session. That's really cool because that's a good way to find some movies that maybe you hadn't seen before. So I like that idea. And Jamie is happy that we're having a late night live stream. Yes. I don't know how long we're going to do this. We're just going to hang out for a little bit because, you know, a lot of you guys aren't living in the past like I am in Pacific Standard Time and, you know, probably have stuff to do. So, anyway, we're just going to hang out for a little bit. Jamie, yes. Amy Steele was one of the best final girls ever when she played Ginny in Friday the 13th Part 2. Like, I love that movie, and it's mostly because of Ginny and her performance. There are some problems with that. You know, I think the dream sequence at the end, you know, doesn't quite work that well. Yeah, there are some things that are not great. But Ginny is top 10 final girls of all time for sure, and that makes that movie amazing. It's also just so entertaining, and the cast, the characters are so lovable. I tend to watch Part 2 a lot. I should do a subathon like Fate did. I don't know. So let's see. What are the rules of a subathon? Well, I'm not monetized. So I could not include super chats because I don't get super chats. But, all right. I could do it if I get subscribers. So let's see. Let me see where my subscriber count is. Dun, 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 dun. YouTube Studio. Okay. I'm at 1824. So let's see. What's a realistic time to wrap it up? All right. Let's say I go to midnight my time. So 45 minutes, but if I get more subscribers, I will extend a minute per subscriber. How's that? Boom. Okay, Kevin says, I would think more people would want to watch B-movie reviews than big movie reviews because they're just more interesting than hearing everyone talk. Yeah, you know, I agree, Kevin. You know, I love my friends, and of course I want to hear their opinions, especially if I really like them about movies, but there's only so many opinions people can have about like Texas Chainsaw Massacre or Halloween, especially Halloween. Halloween gets all the love, and it's just nice to hear people talk about some of these movies that nobody is talking about. So I think that's great. You know, all the love for the big movies, but yeah, I want to see more B movies. Just in case I got wrestling content. Oh, you have Horror Addicts. I do work for Skynet. My day job is training an AI. How crazy is that? Skynet makes me nervous too, but I think it's best to be on their side. Gory, have you watched Alice in Borderland? I have heard about that one. I think it's a foreign film. Isn't it Korean? I don't know. I've heard it's really good. Refresh my mind on some of the plot details, but I remember someone recommended it to me because I was similar to another movie I liked. So I need to check this out. And do you know where I can stream it, Spooky Primo? Let me know. Jamie saw April Fool's Day when it came out in the theater. I am so jealous because I would have loved to have that experience. But as I was talking to Steven about, I have seen Scream. So, you know, I've seen some cool movies in my day. I've seen a few, 1 or 2. But no, unfortunately, April Fool's Day, I missed that one because I was being lame and probably in school or something. Muffin was the real star of Friday the 13th Part 2. Correction. Muffin was the real co-star. Like, Ginny gets all the love. Ginny, then Muffin. I'll give Muffin second billing. It's 3:40 p.m. in Australia. Well, hello, Australia. That's awesome. Friday the 13th Part 2 is Jamie's favorite of the series. You know, it's definitely, it really depends with Friday the 13th on my mood, but it's definitely up there, and a lot of times it is my favorite. So it's hard for me to pick one definitive one, but it's in my top 3, and those 3 shift around a lot. Did I watch B movies on Cinemax when I was a kid? No, I didn't, unless it was a free weekend, because my family didn't have money for a lot of the premium channels. But yeah, sometimes Encore, Stars, Cinemax would all have free weekends, and then I would. But mostly I watched a lot of TNT, which was on regular cable, and Monster Vision, USA Up all night. I watched a lot of that. So that's the kind of stuff I watch, where there was tons of B movies, and it was awesome. Hey! Craven Something Scary's here! So, I said that really loud. I'm sorry if I hurt your ears. But this is my buddy Steven. I was just on his show, and it was so cool because I really like to get nerdy and deep dive into horror movies, to where even my horror friends, like, I'm on Freaky Girls Live, and sometimes they're just like, dial it back, Corey. Dial it back. You know, because it's like you just got way deep into, like, you know, some silly B movie. But Steven of Craven Something Scary, he gets it. He likes to get deep in those rabbit holes. So I like that he also is excited about it, and we had a really fun conversation. It was awesome. And if you missed it, do check that out on his channel. Yeah, you'll find it. And not even just me, like, you know, whatever. He's done other streams with people who are even more entertaining than me. Like when he talked to Nancy, who was the bathroom girl in Scream. I know that doesn't sound like a great plug, but it really is. She's so funny. And he's talked to so many other amazing people, and he does Lethal Collective with the Night Watch Zone and Fate Decided and Killjoy Jake. So many awesome things. So you should just go there for like your own benefit. But not right now, because right now we're hanging out and I don't want to feel like a loser. So just stay where you're at. For just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, let's see. Dun, dun, dun. Yay! He says he had a wonderful time. See, I do have friends. And he can't wait to have me back on his channel very soon. And Stew Train. Stew! I am so excited. I used to be in the Stew Train caboose, but I have worked my way up Snowpiercer style. And I'm having like liver and everything with all the other Stew fans. It's so awesome. I mean, just living my best life. #blessed. Dun, 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 dun. Still need to get my B to Z grade movie review series off the ground. I am all about that. Let me know where you're going to put that, Arkham Knight Rider. If it's on Letterboxd, whatever. I love your stuff. So obviously I'll be checking it out regardless of what platform it's on. Hey, Becky! Becky is like my best friend. I adore her. She's like my only real life friend who also likes horror and also watches my show. She's my favorite. Yay! Dun, 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 dun. And Ariel watched B movies on Cinemax and Showtime in the 90s. That's awesome. I bet they have lots of good stuff. I watched one thing on Cinemax once during a free weekend late at night, and it started with aliens, and I was kind of like, all right. It actually it reminded me of a movie I like called Remote Control. Like really cheesy costumes, and I was watching, and then it took a turn. And then it got really naughty, and then I just felt awkward watching it because then my mom came upstairs. At any rate, I'm sure they also had great movies on there. But I think I got more into, I stumbled upon what they call Skinemax. Anyway, I'm sure there's good stuff on there too. It's on Netflix. It's similar to Squid Game. You know, I did hear that. All right, so I wrote it down. I'm going to check it out. I did like Squid Game, and I love Battle Royale. So hopefully I will like that. Word on the street is school is cool and crack is whack. You know, as a former teacher, I totally love this. You know, because I used to turn my chair around and rap with the kids. This totally sounds like something I need to say more often. And Arkham Knight's favorite Friday is part 6, which is also in my top 3. But it is a hard one. It's hard for me. I love the franchise so much. And Danny liked our stream earlier, which is good. He should like it because it was awesome. So Danny. So Steven from Crave is Something Scary, we're buds now, so I can call him Steven. You can't, but whatever. He says he would even let you be on his channel at some point in time, and then maybe you could be friends with him too. I actually think, in all seriousness, you guys would have a lot of fun, and you should do that because you've been wanting to stream more. So, exchange details. Okay, Jen says, although I don't like the things I have read lately about Joss Whedon, I wish he and Wes Craven had collaborated on a movie series. That's the thing. The hard thing about Joss Whedon is, he does not seem like a very nice person. He did create a lot of good stuff, though, and I think we'd be missing out on a lot of amazing things if we write him off completely. He's not a Weinstein. From what I understand, he hasn't done anything illegal. So, he's an asshole, but I still like Buffy. And you know what? I'm drawing a total blank, but he played Wesley Crusher on Star Trek. He said that what's most important about Buffy is what it means to you. So if Buffy made you feel good, made you understand something about the world better, if Buffy meant something to you, then that's more important than anything Joss Whedon has done. What it means to you is important, so screw him. Keep loving Buffy. I intend to keep loving Buffy, and there's a bunch of other people who worked on Buffy as well. That said, so what if he's a dick? Sometimes dicks make great movies. Alfred Hitchcock was a dick. He called his actors sheep. He terrorized the actress who was the lead in The Birds, and I'm not going to stop watching The Birds because he's a jerk. I'm not going to stop watching Psycho because he's a jerk. Alfred Hitchcock was a massive dick, but he made great art. Joss Whedon's a dick, but I love Buffy. And I think if you guys love Buffy, that's okay. I mean, 100% okay, because it's my favorite show, and I'm a little more than a little obsessed. Alright, that was a huge rant. Let's move on. Rhonda Shear has a YouTube channel where she does a weekly live stream showing footage from Up All Night and talks about the scenes. That's so cool. Did you know Rhonda Shear also created the Abra? It's so good because it doesn't have any underwire in it or anything. And I know this sounds like an infomercial because it's on late and I'm talking about bras, but I'm just happy that she's looking out for the boobies because somebody's got to. So thank you, Rhonda Shear. Thank you for Up All Night. Thank you for your YouTube channel. And thank you for the Abra. I did remember watching Up All Night. There you go, with the Hellraiser movie. There used to also be another thing. It's lesser known than like Monster Vision or USA Up All Night. But there was another one on another channel where it was dinner and a movie. And so they would show a movie, but they would also make a food that went with it. So my brothers and I did a more disgusting version of this, where we would pick a movie and we would be like, what is the most disgusting thing that we could make to make the movie harder to watch? Like eating barbecue while watching Cannibal Holocaust. I remember like we watched Nightmare on Elm Street and there's the part where he cuts open his arm and you see the maggots. So we did rice and we put like some kind of green salsa sauce on it to make it look the same. So our version was disgusting, but the show, I can't remember what network is on. I think it was USA. The show was good. Their show was good. All right. Spooky Primo. I do love watching The Last Drive-In, but it would be great to have a horror host on cable that loves B horror. I love B horror. I am not on cable, but you can watch me on YouTube, and I am a huge fan of Joe Bob Briggs. I've talked a lot about what that show meant to me. Like I said, when I was younger, I didn't have friends who liked horror. I wasn't lucky like I am now, where I have all of you guys here. So I would watch Monster Vision, and Joe Bob would read letters, and I realized there was people all over the country who were watching that show. And so maybe we weren't in the same room, but we were watching it together. And, we were part of this mutant family that is now expanded, and now we all watch together on Twitter, and it's so much fun. So I love Joe Bob so much. And, ooh, did Danny say he's going to be on your show? Oh, he said he liked your show. Yeah, you guys should exchange numbers or whatever. Stu stole every scene. This is true. Yeah, doing that. Getting in touch. I will be having my review on YouTube. Okay, well, I'm going to check it out. I think, you know what? We're not doing anything else. Let's see. Arkham Knight Riders channel. I think I am subscribed. Arkham Knight Rider. I know I follow you in Letterboxd. Oh, I'm already subscribed. Sweet. I got notifications turned on, so I'll know when you do it. Yay! And that's how you do it. All right. Carnival of Souls is your favorite B movie? That is a terrific B movie and one I hope to cover someday. Jamie says this is a crow. A raven has a blue sheen on its head and a golden sheen on its body. And look! Do you want to see something else, Jamie? Danny even got me a Boris puppet, which I guess is also a crow, because I'm learning things about animals in addition to movies. But look how cute. I've thought about putting it on my show, but I don't know. I don't know if people are ready for puppets yet. I frankly love puppets. All right, but I digress. Let's see what else is going on. What is my favorite Leprechaun kill? That is a tough question. Of all the Leprechaun movies, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Probably the one I got the most excited about was the one with the glass that cut the guy in half in Leprechaun Returns. That one had great kills. A lot of what I love about Leprechaun isn't so much the kills, it's just Leprechaun. And I think the most Leprechaun-y Leprechaun movie there is, if that's a phrase, was part 3. That one is so much fun. I mean, mostly when I think of Leprechaun, I think about his toys, his vehicles, and his costumes. So my favorite memories of Leprechaun are like when he was dressed up as a psychic, or when he rode a go-kart, like any one of the 3 he's written, or when he got a pogo stick. So it's not a franchise for me where the kills stick out that much, or where they're even that important to me. But yeah, probably the glass one in Returns. Hey, Gory Bits, what up? All of us Gories, we're all buddies, so it's always nice to see Gory Bits. Rhonda Shearer also dated HBK Shawn Michaels. She has accomplished a lot in her life. A lot. Joss Whedon was great, but how come he directed the first 2 Avengers? You know, I agree, Ariel. I love Dollhouse. I love Firefly, especially. I love Angel and Buffy. Not a big fan of his Avengers movies, but I know a lot of people do like them. Kevin says, I think Black Christmas 2019's ending was kind of a ripoff of the episode of Buffy where she went to the frat party with Cordelia, except the episode of Buffy was way better. I 100% agree. Like, the problem with the 2019 Black Christmas is that it was more focused on telling a message and less focused on telling a story. So it felt kind of preachy and soapboxy, which sucks because it's a really cool, important message. But if people feel like you're preaching at them, they're not going to listen. And I think in a movie, your movie needs to be entertaining outside of its message. Like, you should be able to completely ignore the message and still have a good time. Like, Get Out did that very well. It had a message, but, I mean, you can remove it from that and you still have an entertaining movie. Buffy did that. A lot of Buffy's episodes were metaphors for other things. And you could remove the metaphorical aspect and you still have a terrific show. Unfortunately, the 2019 Black Christmas, it didn't have anything outside of that message that was really constructed very well. And yeah, I would I would suggest the Buffy episode instead. Very good. Reptile Boy. That's what it's called. Dinner and a movie was on Bravo. Thank you, Jamie. Way to get my back, buddy. Oh, Jamie, am I allowed to call you buddy? I call a lot of people, I don't know. I feel like we're friends, but I don't want to be presumptuous. So, you know, go ahead and let me know. Arkham used to stay up at night watching a lot of movies on Troma's YouTube channel when they used to have their entire catalog. That's so cool. I noticed that Scream Factory also has a YouTube channel, and you can watch like Elvira and stuff on there, which is really cool. A lot of that stuff is also on Tubi, which is nice. The Black Christmas remake was wretched. It really was. I'm coming around a little bit to the early 2000s one that had Mary Elizabeth Winstead and a few others in it. I used to really hate that one too, because to me, Black Christmas is a perfect movie. It's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. But the 2019 one, like, again, I think the message is good, but your movie just wasn't entertaining. So, at least not for me. If somebody enjoyed it, I'm very happy for them. I just didn't. Will Wheaton. Yes, Will Wheaton is the one who said that thing I said earlier. We worship Joe Bob in my household too. We shut this house down for last drive-in. Like, we do not go out. If somebody was like, oh, you know, can you go pick up something at the store for me? I'm sorry, I'm watching Joe Bob. It's just not going to happen. People come to my door. I really hope it's unlocked and that you know how to get in by yourself, because I'm not answering it unless it's pizza. I'll answer it for pizza, but nobody else. So don't come to my door, or just let yourself in, because I'm watching Joe Bob. I missed it once, and that was for one of my very good friends' wedding, but it was an exception. Does not happen often. I must really, really like her. I grew up watching Monster Vision too, Speaky Primo, who is my buddy Robin. We hang out at CryptoCon, which is coming up here soon. Ariel says, dude, I watched Beetlejuice on dinner and a movie on TBS, Gory, and I want to get their cookbook. Yeah, they do have a cookbook, don't they? That's a good... How are my spiders? I'm so glad you asked, because, you know, a lot of people don't really care about spiders. You know, jumping spiders are, they're awake during the day, so they're sleeping right now. Wait a second. Okay, so this is Renfield, and he's sleeping. I thought he might be awake. So yeah, I have two jumping spiders. They're both Phidippus oryx, which is the one that's native to my area. They have regals down in the south and in Florida. But they're really, really cute. And Renfield just molted, and now he's all black and adorable. And my other spider, my first one I got, Ichabod, she is just so adorable. She laid some eggs, but they're infertile. But it's kind of like a little kid who plays with their dolls. Like, she's happy. She's living her best life. She seems pretty relaxed. So everybody's happy in my spider world. Danny says, I tried to get her crow from MST3K, but this is what showed up in the mail. Well, that would have been cool too. But I do like Boris. He was cut in half by solar panels. That's exactly what happened. Becky says, yes, that's my favorite Leprechaun kill too. That's awesome. I'm glad you saw Leprechaun Returns, because a lot of people didn't give it a chance, and it was really good. I mean, I love Warwick Davis too. He brings something really special to the role, but I feel like Leprechaun Returns was like it did what Scream 5 did for the Scream franchise. It was very respectful to the movies that had come before it. Obviously, they would have had Warwick Davis if he was available. He wasn't available because he didn't want to do horror at the time because his kids were still young. But Lyndon Porco did a terrific job. I thought he was fabulous. I liked him. Jen says her guilty pleasure B movie is Reform School Girls. So, some people say that they're reluctant to say something's a guilty pleasure. I call something a guilty pleasure if my enjoyment of it exceeds the quality of it. So I have a lot of guilty pleasures. I love The Suckling. I love Uninvited. The cat that pukes up a smaller cat. I love that. Those are a couple that I really enjoy. And Danny says that's a good movie. What is my comfort movie? So comfort, I watch Uninvited a lot. I do like that one. That's just one I can throw on. I also like pretty much anything John Carpenter if I'm doing other stuff. But I just want noise on in the background just because the scores are phenomenal. But if I'm sick or I'm having a bad day or I'm just not feeling great, my comfort movie tends to be the original Dracula with Bela Lugosi. I like the one that has the London score, London like Philharmonic score on it that they added in. But generally any black and white movie just is comforting for me. I watched a lot of old black and white horror movies with my mom when I was a kid, so I don't know, maybe that's where that comes from, but any black and white movie like The Bad Seed, the original Village of the Damned, any of the Universal horror movies, if I'm sick or not feeling great, those are my comfort movies. Ariel says, between you and me, Gory, my favorite Leprechaun was the one from 3, where Stretch wished to be young. That is a great one, and then she blows up. Go on. Here is my Joe Bob cup tumbler that my sister-in-law got me. I think you can get this off of Etsy if you guys want one too. Hey, Gory Bits will be my buddy. Thanks, guys. Yay, Jamie says I can be her buddy too. Yes. I have so many buddies now. Sadly, they're missing Elvira's episodes on Tubi, a good chunk of them. Yeah, you know, a lot of them are, I don't even know if they're available anywhere. I do have the Elvira box set. So this set is the stuff that came out after 2000. And then she also did a full moon series, which you can find those on DVD. But the original run of Elvira, there are a few DVDs out, but it's really hard to find all of them. I haven't seen all of them. I've seen all of this. I've seen all the full moon. I saw what she did on Shudder. But yeah, I don't even know where those are. I mean, it could be a Vampira situation. I mean, you can find clips of Vampira, like mostly from the intro online, but those episodes are pretty much lost. Like nobody has them. So unless you were alive and saw on television at the time, which unfortunately I wasn't, yeah, I've never got to see Vampira, and unfortunately I've missed a lot of Elvira too. Hopefully they turn up at some point. And let's check in on my subscriber count. So it was 1824. It's still 1824, so I'm going to have to end this at midnight. my subathon. All right, I got to write that down. So let's see. It's 1,824. That's where we're at. But it is more than the subscription goal that's showing on the screen. So I don't know about this widget. I don't think this widget's doing a good job. Oh well. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think our widget's doing a good job, so I'm going to get rid of it. All right, let's see. Ariel says, we all know she was my BF's, my favorite kind of girl, which I can say, Monique Gabrielle. Yes, in Evil Tunes. Jamie had a huge crush on Joe Bob Briggs when he had his original drive-in show on the Movie Channel. I have seen a lot of those just because I am on the Patreon, which even if you only are $1 or I think $3 Patreon, you have access to when Darcy posts all the old Movie Channel ones, because she has his entire archive. So you get to see so much of his old stuff, which is really, really fun, especially if you're a Joe Bob fan. There's one where he had like a playmate or somebody on there, and he looked so nervous. So like, it's just so cool because I never see him get nervous anymore. But yeah, I love his old stuff. It's so entertaining. And Adam says, what's up? Am I super late? No, you're not super late, and you can always watch it later on. You know, I don't know what you missed because I've really just been rambling. I did talk about my spiders earlier. I don't know if you care about that. But yeah, we're just talking about movies, just hanging out for a little bit. And if I get more subscribers, I might add more time to my stream. But, you know, I'm happy with what I have. It's all good. All right. So Prince of Darkness is Ginger Ninja's all-time favorite John Carpenter film. I love that one too. My favorite would probably be... I do love that one. Probably The Thing. I do love The Thing. And of course, I love Halloween. Danny's drinking out of his Joe Bob tumbler too. Well, cheers to you, Danny. Danny, if you want a little shot of vodka, come on in here and get it. Jamie's guilty pleasure is another, I'm pretty sure it's John Carpenter, Ghosts of Mars. That's a good one. I mean, it's not. But it's entertaining. Yeah, it's fun. It does get a bad rap, but it's a fun movie, and honestly, I think that's all that movie was trying to do. I might eventually do like all the gory details on it, because I'm curious to know like what went into it. I think even if a movie didn't come together great, if a lot of people worked hard on it and they cared about it, then that means something to me. And it's John Carpenter, so I'm sure he did. It is John Carpenter, right? Correct me if I'm wrong there. Yeah, Adam also likes Ghost of Mars. Dun, dun, dun. It is 11:41 in Oregon. It is 11:43 in Washington, because we're in the same time zone. Are we just listing movies we love? Prom Night. Hello, Mary Lou. That is a good one. And it was on Joe Bob. I think what we're talking about, Kevin, is our comfort movies. So what do you watch like when you're sick, when you're having a bad day, when you're not feeling great? What are your comfort movies? For Adam Ward, his comfort movies are The Blob, Night of the Creeps, Night of the Demons, and non-horror would be The Road Warrior and Escape from New York. Those are fantastic movies. Those are great ones. Very good ones. And if I'm going to put on, like what I said earlier about John Carpenter, especially like if I need to put on something and I know I'm going to fall asleep in it, I will put on something like Halloween that I've seen a dozen times, but I really like the score. And it doesn't really have any parts in it where it gets really loud for no reason. It's not like super jump scary. So that's one I tend to put on a lot. And Steven's going to call it a night, but he had an absolute blast. I had an absolute blast too. And have a good rest of the night. Talk soon. Good night. Bye, Steven. Thanks for having me on your show. And Austin says, my Leprechaun movie video was fantastic. The first of your videos I've seen. If you like that one, I also did deep dives on Grizzly 2 and Happy Birthday to Me and Eyes Without a Face. So kind of the same thing, just mega uber nerdy deep dives. You might like those. And I also have a few oral gory details I did over in Horror Addicts. It is John Carpenter. See, I know some stuff. I know some stuff about the horror movies. And Adam says, I can pop those on and watch them anytime along with the Predator, Terminator. Yeah, Terminator 2 is another one I watch a lot. Again, even Terminator, because I like the score of that one. If I like the score of it, and I've seen it a lot, that's when I'll put on when I'm going to bed. So, Gory, do you watch Briscoe County Jr.? I actually have all of Briscoe County Jr. somewhere. Yeah, I have Briscoe County Jr. right here. I feel like my bat cave here, it's kind of like Mary Poppins, where if you mention the movie, I probably got it back here. But here's Briscoe County Jr. I have seen it all. I did watch it when it was on. That's actually Danny's set, but I probably would have bought it otherwise. It's so good. And Tony says his comfort movies are the Terminator franchise except for Dark Fate. I still haven't seen Dark Fate. I've heard it wasn't very good, though. I don't know. What did you guys think? Good night, Spooky Primo, Robin. And, Jamie says when they are sick, their comfort movies are Donnie Darko, Fire Walk with Me, good one, Wild at Heart, Xanadu, and Wizard of Oz. Jamie, check this out. So I played roller derby for a really long time, 5 years, and they did a production of Xanadu in my city, and they needed people who were good on skates, because as you know, a lot of Xanadu takes place on roller skates. So they needed people who would be comfortable skating on a stage, jumping off the stage, doing stuff like that. So I volunteered because they asked the roller derby girls to do it, and it was so much fun. I even have like a Xanadu shirt from when I was in the play. But yeah, it was super, super fun. I loved doing that play, and I love the movie with Olivia Newton-John. So good. And Jen said, this is why I don't do Disney, Ariel. It's a Disney Channel original movie. And Ariel says she's a sucker for off-the-wall movies like Big Trouble in Little China. Yes, that is a good one. Dark fate made Tony physically angry. That's unfortunate. When was the last time I got angry about a movie? You know, it wasn't a recent movie, but one I saw that actually did piss me off was, and it's one that doesn't piss off a lot of people, but I Married a Witch. I just thought that was really offensive towards witches and women. Didn't like that. But actually, like, pissed me off. It doesn't happen often. Leprechaun Origins. That's one that pissed me off. I feel like they had no respect for the franchise. And I feel like that was just a money decision. I mean, they even said in the features that they'd never seen a Leprechaun movie, and they were bragging about it, like they were somehow better than the Leprechaun movies. And if that's how they felt, I don't think they should have made one. And obviously they shouldn't have, because a lot of people agree that Leprechaun Origins is not a good movie. Ginger says he hasn't seen Briscoe County in ages. You should get that DVD box set and give it a watch. Arkham Knight Riders comfort movies are Once Bitten, The Lost Boys, that's a great one. The Kindred, The Craft. The Craft is another one I can watch. Like, another one of my comfort movies, in addition to The Craft, is Practical Magic. I can watch Practical Magic just about any time. I love that movie. Saw 3 and Pumpkinhead. That is a great list. Ben's comfort movies are the Jurassic Park World movies, Scooby-Doo movies. You're totally in line with Lulz there. He loves Scooby-Doo. And Idle Hands. That is a great selection. And Adam says, I love your deep dive on Eyes Without a Face. Great work, and the extensive amount of your hard work shows. I would love to see more. Great balance of humor and extremely informative. Yes, there are a lot more coming. There's so many I want to cover. I think the next one I'm going to work on is one for my birthday. The year I was born, there was a ton of birthday horror movies, so I'm probably going to do Bloody Birthday next. So hopefully you guys are interested in that. Arkham Knight also says Dark Fate was horrible. I'm still probably going to watch it, though. Oh, yeah! Hashtag horror pissed me off, too. That movie was so annoying. Oh, yeah, I got the hiccups. Yes, hashtag horror was super annoying and unbearable to watch. It had a nice score. It wasn't filmed terribly. I don't think the actors did a terrible job, but it's just an obnoxious movie. It's basically just having, like, Candy Crush, like, shoved into your eyeballs and a whole bunch of girls screaming. It was not good. It was not enjoyable. And Ariel says, so do you know Briscoe County Jr. was hosting the Fox Kids Saturday Morning Roundup in the fall of '93? I did not know that, but that is very, very cool to know. Jamie was pissed off by Matrix Resurrections. You know, my brother is a massive Matrix fan, and it pissed him off, too. Still haven't seen it yet, but I've heard it's pretty bad. And, yeah, Danny knows what's up. He knows Leprechaun's not good. I loved Briscoe County Jr. as a kid. It brings back so many of the memories. It really does. I also loved seeing Bruce Campbell on Xena. Did you guys ever remember seeing him on Xena? He was great on that show. And I feel like Leprechaun Origins was a bait and switch. I wanted some backstory on Lep. Yeah, I mean, it's basically a creature feature. It's not even really a Leprechaun movie. It's just another creature feature, and I just don't understand why it was in that franchise. Like, they could have just made a creature feature, because it really had no connection to the other films, aside from a couple of lines that they stole. It's soulless, and for me, that's what makes a bad movie. It's not bad effects. It's not even bad acting. You know, a lot of people try really hard when they make a movie, and I'll forgive a lot of that stuff if I like the story. But Leprechaun Origins was just made to make money, and something that's soulless like that, to me, that is garbage. I would rate something like that much lower than something that a lot of other people would say is terrible, like Uninvited, or, you know, just a lot of the B movies I like. So yeah, Leprechaun Origins, it was just made to make money. It's soulless garbage. But if you love it, you know, hey, you entirely are valid in your opinions as well. And Jamie also likes Practical Magic. Yeah, it's great. Adam says Fright Night is a comfort movie too. That is my favorite horror movie of all time. Like, That and The Craft are probably neck and neck. Though I usually give it to Fright Night over that one, just because I do feel Fright Night is a perfect movie. The Craft, the only thing that to me keeps me from giving it like the highest rating is I was so invested in the characters, but in the final act, Rochelle and Bonnie just become kind of like the flunkies of Nancy, and they're not really given anything else to do, which just makes me sad because they were so well developed in the beginning of the movie. So yeah, I gotta give it to Fright Night. I usually say that's my favorite movie, but between you and me, I watch The Craft a lot more. But I love them both. I've seen them both dozens of times, and I used to have the biggest crush on Chris Sarandon in Fright Night. Jerry Dandridge. Mwah. So good. And for Tony, it's definitely Star Wars, which, yeah, Star Wars is great. The Mayor's comfort movies are Suspiria and Demoni. Those are both those are great because they have the great score, that Goblin score. So 100%, I think those are terrific. What did I think of The Craft Legacy? Kevin, I think The Craft Legacy had its heart in the right place. I don't like some of the articles that came out about it because they were saying, like, they were putting down the original Craft in order to build theirs up. So they're like, well, the original Craft was very toxic, and ours is about sisterhood. That movie wasn't supposed to be about sisterhood. The movie was about, like, toxic friendships and a lot of the power struggles that female friend groups go through. It was more like Mean Girls in that respect. So I didn't really like that comment about it. But yeah, I do feel like they tried to do good representation. I do think they tried to show a positive, like, friend group. I think they failed in that they didn't really develop their characters very well. I mean, you don't know a whole lot about any of the characters aside from the main girl. Whereas in The Craft, we got to know all of the girls, and we got to really have fun with them learning about magic and see their journeys and their struggles. But yeah, I wish they would have done that more, but I don't think it's bad. I didn't like that they threw Fairuza Balk in the end. She didn't even have a line. There's a lot of problems with it. The CGI in it is pretty bad. Yeah, there's a lot of problems with it, but I do think it had its heart in the right place, and I really thought I was going to hate it. But, I mean, I own it. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. But it is nowhere near as good as the original Craft. And honestly, it's so rare to find a movie that doesn't completely demonize witches, that is positive. So that's always a win with me. So I like it. I rewatched it. Nowhere near as good as the first one, but I think people are pretty hard on it. Hashtag horror was dreadful. Demoni is wild. Like the motorcycle and the cinema. So cool. And then there's a helicopter. So cool. I need to cover that movie eventually. I went to the Matrix brunch at Denny's. I bet that was awesome, Ariel. Danny says, I wish TNT would have picked up the Briscoe County Jr. show after Fox dropped the ball. They should have put Joe Bob on it as a recurring character. That would have been awesome. I mentioned this earlier. I haven't seen X yet just because I haven't been able to get to the cinema, but I hope to see it soon. It sounds like a really awesome movie, and I'm really bummed I haven't seen it yet. And Arkham Knight says, Krish is a comfort movie. I haven't seen that one, but I'll have to check it out. But it's nearly 3 hours. A lot of Marvel movies are nearly 3 hours, and they're good. Adam says, I agree, Fright Night is such a perfect movie. I know most people like the 20... Ooh, yeah, I'm not a fan of the remake either. I just feel like... One, I don't like all the CGI and stuff in it. Like the original movie, it looks 1,000 times better, and it didn't have all that. I also feel like Jerry Dandridge in the original, he's got layers. Like, yes, he's a bad guy, but he's a bad guy because he has to eat. He does have feelings and stuff too. He had a lot of layers to him, whereas Colin Farrell's, I don't think had that. I also, I'm not really crazy about what they did with Evil Ed. There's just a lot of things in it that... It's not a bad movie, but it's nowhere near as good as Fright Night, and I bristle a little bit when people say that the remake is better. I especially hate what they did with Peter Vincent. because Peter Vincent, I mean, yeah, eventually they reveal that he's kind of a coward, but the way that Roddy McDowall played him, where you can genuinely see how terrified he is, and he goes from this character who's very, very arrogant to trying to do the right thing, but I think he's heroic because he's so afraid. And you see that vulnerability in him. And you see also, like, when he sees Evil Ed, like, how heartbroken he is. And that character's vulnerability, to me, is what makes him iconic. And as much as I love David Tennant, he didn't have that. He was like some kind of Chris Angel-y guy. I really hated it. But if you love it, your opinion is valid. We just have different opinions. I love the original Fright Night, so that's where I'm coming from. Arkham Knight says, I remember there being a review of the second Craft movie where the reviewer claimed the original's characters were pure evil and the new cast was more enunciated, super cringe. They weren't pure evil, though, because I think they got caught up in something, which a lot of girls, it's kind of that mob mentality, and I'm sorry, it's real. I've experienced this with girls in high school. You know, they end up, sometimes people in a group of friends or in a clique are capable of doing things that they would have never done if it was just them by themselves. And I don't think Bonnie and Rochelle would have done those things. They were kind of under the influence of Nancy, and they got swept up in it. I don't think they were bad people. I don't think Nancy was a bad person. She was somebody who had been kind of shit on in her life and wanted to feel important, wanted to feel powerful. And absolutely, I think Sarah was a great character. But I think these characters had a lot of nuance to them. Even though, like I said, Bonnie and Rochelle ended up being kind of flunkies, you know, in the end, like bad guys. I didn't really like the way it ended with them. But, you know, I felt for Bonnie when she's getting her surgery and how she feels about her scars. I felt for Rochelle dealing with bullying. Yeah, I think these are very nuanced characters. I felt for Nancy when she's dealing with her home life and her mom's shitty boyfriend. I think anybody who would have the opinion that they're pure evil just hasn't seen the movie, because it's all there. Yeah, Ariel, like I said, I didn't think it was bad. I own it. So I think it has a lot of good things about it. I think people are a little too hard on it, but, you know, it's not for me anywhere near The Craft. David Price. Do I need a job? Actually, yes. Hey, it's guys. This is David Price, who co-produced Leprechaun. And he's also in it. He's like plays a deputy at one point. And he's on a wanted poster. Wow, that's so cool. Yay. Yes. I would love a job. If you guys make another Leprechaun, you know, and you want to have like a YouTuber in it, just saying. You can call me. That'd be awesome. Arkham refuses to watch The Craft Legacy. That's totally fine too. You know, it's not going to go anywhere. You can always change your mind, and you know what? You still have the original Craft. And not every movie is made for everybody, so you don't need to watch it. It's totally fine. Adam says, speaking of witches, what was your take on The Love Witch? I heard you mention it before, and I apologize in advance. I think The Love Witch did a really good job of showing, like, a lot of movies do, like, the forced lightning witchcraft, and that's not very realistic, especially for people who actually practice witchcraft. It is a lot of just herbs, and it's, I mean, I think it's interesting, but I like movies that show the practical aspect of just witchcraft, and that movie did that phenomenally. It also was a great study about, like, you know, gender issues and stuff, so, yeah, I thought it was really good. I did enjoy it more on a second watch, so if you're somebody who didn't like The Love Witch, I would say watch it again. You can even watch it on Joe Bob's Last Drive-In, which is always more fun. And you've pre-ordered the Craft 4K. I have the Craft on Blu-ray. I got the Scream Factory edition. With 4K, sometimes it's important to me to get the 4K, but especially movies that were made in the 90s and stuff, I think you can only restore it so much. So I don't notice a huge difference, but I'm sure it's going to be awesome in 4K. What did I think of the slap heard around the world? Well, David, I was doing the Oscars, which is our horror movie awards show, and I think it's actually kind of interesting because horror movie fans kind of get this rap like we're somehow degenerate. And our show was just nothing but people being supportive about horror movies, about the horror community. And yet the Oscars, which was supposed to be the most glamorous night in Hollywood, had somebody assault somebody else on stage. So, yeah, that's never happened during the Oscars. But yeah, I think that's kind of messed up. I'm surprised that was allowed to happen. I don't think Chris Rock's joke was funny, but he did not deserve to be assaulted. And so, yeah, nobody really looks good in this situation. Except for horror fans who are watching the Oscars and being super nice to each other. Yeah, you know, until he mentioned that, I didn't even know there was a Craft 4K either. I just have the Scream Factory edition, so that's kind of cool. The original Fright Night, Jerry gave Charlie a chance. Yes, he did, yes. And Charlie pulled out the cross, and you can tell Jerry was upset about this decision. He also gives Evil Ed a chance, and I think that's what's cool about it. Like, you can tell he's grasping for his humanity here. You know, it's a really interesting character that's struggling. And I love that about that movie. And, you know, I love Anton Yelchin. I love a lot of the people who are in the remake. I do think the guy from Superbad who's in it, I think he did a good job. But I think the biggest thing that turns me off about it is just what they did with Peter Vincent. Just because I love that character so much. I love Roddy McDowall so much. And I do appreciate that they didn't just try to copy and paste it, because nobody else could be Roddy McDowall. In fact, the Roddy McDowall part of Peter Vincent was originally had Vincent Price in mind. And so even Roddy McDowall brought his own thing to it. But the Chris Angel approach, I just didn't get it. But if you guys got it, you know, and it meant something to you, it's like what we said about the Joss Whedon thing. That is more important than my opinion or anybody else's opinion. If it meant something to you, that's valuable. And people make these movies. Nobody tries to make a bad movie. People make these movies because they want someone to enjoy it. So I'm just happy, even when I don't like a movie, that there are people who did. I'm sure there's even somebody who likes Leprechaun Origins. I have yet to meet this person, but I'm sure they're out there. Have I seen Sweet 16? That's from 1983. You know, I haven't seen it. I keep telling Danny, because he was born in 1983, that that's what he needs to review on his birthday in November. So I don't want to take that away from Danny. I think he should do it. Ariel is watching Jackass 3D. Nice. Good night, Jen. It was nice seeing you. Yay! Can't believe David Price is here. Yeah, so that's so cool. So the director, Mark Jones, he shared his email address on a stream. So I took a chance and I emailed him my video just because I wanted him to know, like, how much that movie meant to me. Because it does mean a lot to me. And the movie gets unfairly mocked. So I sent it to him, and he was really nice and watched it and commented. And I wonder if he shared it with David Price, because then David Price watches it, which is crazy. Mark Holton has seen it, who played Ozzy. So that's mind-blowingly cool. I'm so excited. It just makes all the hours of work I put into that like awesome, because like these are the people who made this movie, and I really value this movie, and I know how hard they worked on it. So that's awesome. Janie says, I actually really like the Fright Night remake. I saw the original in theater when I was young. I always loved it, but I thought the remake elevated it. I liked the Vegas setting and the new Peter Vincent. See, that's cool. Like, if the original Fright Night didn't make you feel what it made me feel, then I'm glad that there is a remake that will give you that experience. That's the whole reason to make a remake. I didn't need that, because I already had it from the original Fright Night. But if the remake gave you something that the original didn't, then that's awesome. And absolutely, you just keep on loving that movie, and no one's going to tell you you're wrong, because that's really cool. I'm happy whenever anybody has a connection like that to a horror movie, because I think horror doesn't get enough credit for being awesome, for being the only genre that continually does something different. Unlike romantic comedies, unlike action movies, you know, horror is always changing and mutating and evolving. So yeah, 100% I'm on board with this. Yay, Danny! Yeah, David Price is here. That's so cool. That is so crazy. Sandy Absolute, hey! Becky says, speaking of the slap heard around the world, I really like Demon Knight. Billy Zane is one sexy demon. You know, he really is. He really is. He was so good in that movie. He's so hot in the movie. So good. You know what else Billy Zane was in? Billy Zane was in Critters, which you guys know I love. I love Critters. You know how many like big name A-lister movie stars have been in Critters? Let's break it down. Billy Zane, Leonardo DiCaprio, Angela Bassett, Brad Dourif. That's quite a lineup. Arkham Knight says, would be curious to hear your thoughts on movies like Where the Dead Go to Die. I haven't seen that one. When Blackbirds Fly, I haven't seen that one. Extremely disturbing. But, yeah, I mean, I watch just about anything. So I haven't seen them, but I would check them out. Absolutely. It's a sad day. What's a sad day? I don't know. He's probably referring to something that somebody said. But I'm sad. David Price, don't be sad. You made Leprechaun. David Price, every day that you wake up and you have a bad day, you just remember you helped co-produce Leprechaun. Not only did you help co-produce Leprechaun, you were in the movie and you directed Children of the Corn too, which is awesome because Children of the Corn is great. Continued that franchise on, and that led to Children of the Corn Urban Harvest, which is just awesome. Part 4 is okay. After that, I think you can end about there. But yeah, Children of the Corn 2 is one of the better ones. Speaking of David Tennant, has everybody heard that there's going to be a season 2 of Good Omens? I haven't heard that. I haven't watched season 1, but I heard it was good. Dun, 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 dun. Adam Ward gets it. Demon Knight is good. Yeah, I saw Demon Knight at the theater. That's a good movie. That's one I need to cover too. Where does my horror knowledge come from? Well, I did take some film classes in school, and one of my projects in school was I did a whole thing on Last House on the Left, but I think that's where I discovered I'd like to research horror movies a lot. But a lot of it comes from just watching special features on Blu-rays. I mean, these days, anybody can go to film school in their house. It's all there for you. With the internet and Blu-rays and special features, like, it's all there for you. You can hear from the people who made the movie about it. Like, when I researched Leprechaun, I watched all the special features. I watched the commentaries. I tracked down streams and podcasts that people had done, you know, double-checked things. But yeah, it's all there. So I think anyone can learn about movies just by doing it that way. But yeah, going to an official film school probably would have been really cool. But the film classes I took were really good. The film classes I took when I was in university. But no, it wasn't my major or anything. I just took a lot of film classes because I love film. I love the humor and horror mix. I love humor and horror mix too. And David Price says, Mark Jones and I are good friends. We see each other every week. No way! Do you guys smoke cigars together? I bet they do. Mark Jones smokes a lot of cigars. Dude, David Price, if you ever have free time and you feel like talking about horror movies and you want to be on this show, we should 100% do that. Like, we should hang out and talk about some horror movies. But yeah, that's so cool that you guys are still good friends because you can tell that you're friends in the movie. They're sitting next to each other in the cafe. Then they have the Wanted poster together. It's pretty cool. I like that. Let's see. What else is going on? Jamie says, I thought of my ultimate guilty pleasure movies. The Exorcist 2. That is one that's really unsung. And I think there's actually a lot of layers to Exorcist 2. I think people don't like it because it took such a different turn from the first one. But I really like it too. She's watched it so many times as a kid. I know it's a hot mess, but visually it's glorious. It really is. And you've got James Earl Jones in there. And you know, did I understand all the bee stuff? No. Or locusts. But yeah, visually gorgeous. It was very ambitious. The first 3 are all very ambitious. You know, part 3 is really ambitious too. And obviously Exorcist was. So yeah, I think it's really unsung. I think it gets unfairly hated on too. Ah, yes, the Oscar slap was a sad day, but on the Oscars it was a really good day. So I had a good day that day. But sad for the Academy. Have I seen Fade to Black? Okay, Adam, I'm really embarrassed to say I haven't seen it. It is on my watch list. It is on Shudder. I know I'm going to love it. But you have those movies on your watch list where you know this is something special. And you know you want to pay attention. Because because it deserves your attention. It's a movie you can't be on your phone. You can't be ready to go to bed. And that's the problem with Faded Black. Like, whenever I think I want to watch it, I'm like, but I'm really tired and it really deserves my attention. So, unfortunately, no, I haven't seen it, but I really need to watch it soon. You know what would be great is if Joe Bob put it on there, because then I would 100% watch it, because I never miss Joe Bob. Dun, dun, dun. I love that you guys are all talking to each other, too. So Adam says, I feel the same way. Special features, audio commentary tracks, and books. Yes, books, too. And used to TA for a film class, so this helps. Yeah, when I did my project on Last House on the Left, I got the book on it. So whenever I do these gory details, I do try to see what books are out there. I have one coming up on Satan's Little Helper. I got Jeff Lieberman's book. When I did the Leprechaun one, I got Warwick Davis's book. But I do try to see like if there are any books that have been published about the movie, or if anybody involved in the movie has published like a biography or something, because that's where you're going to find a lot of really interesting information. Definitely, I recommend Jeff Lieberman's book. He's the guy who did Remote Control, Squirm, Satan's Little Helper. His book is really good. And I really like Warwick Davis' book, too, Size Matters Not. And he talks about Leprechaun in there, all the Leprechaun movies he was in there. David says, we do. We smoke every Monday and Friday. What? That is so cool. I mean, you guys talk about the coolest things. So, I have so many questions for you. David, can I call you David? I'm going to call you David. David, do you think Vampircon's going to get made? Because, like, if he does another Kickstarter or whatever for that, I would totally throw money at that. I need Vampircon in my life. Like, if you have any updates on that, I would love to know. Seeing lots of From Dusk Till Dawn. This chat is awesome. I love From Dusk Till Dawn too. And that's one where I knew what the twist was going to be. And like I've told you guys, a lot of my friends when I was young weren't into horror movies. So I had a friend where she's horror adjacent. She was a sci-fi nerd. So, you know, we had a lot of common ground with things like aliens. But she wouldn't watch like a vampire movie. Well, had I known about Life Force, she might have enjoyed that. But I knew she wasn't going to like From Dusk Till Dawn. So I just told her it's just, it's like, a lot of the Quentin Tarantino type movies, which in the beginning kind of is. And she was so mad when it was vampires. She was so mad, but it's so great. That's a movie you love to show people to get the reaction. I remember I showed my son and he was just like, wait, what happened? It's such a dramatic turn, but I love it. I love it so much. It's so good. I love the beginning. I love the end. It's terrific. Arkham says, my ultimate guilty pleasure would be Cool World. It is a big disaster. You know what's really cool? We used to have a mom and pop video store here called Vidal Video. And I remember they were closing down and they had always had on the wall a clock that says Hollywood, which is the name of the character. And it's Cool World. You see the Cool World in the clock part that's in the O. And yeah, I bought it from them. So, and I still have that. I might show you sometime on a future stream, but it's really cool. And Will Colleen, the voice of Inner Mocha and Monica. Oh, What We Do in the Shadows. I love that show. When you do Black Horror with Night Watch, you should pick the Vinegar and Cinnamon Blu-ray of Death by Temptation and Craven's People Under the Stairs. Yeah, I'm actually really, really excited about that. It's something that's really important to me because I want to explore horror from different people's perspectives, but most importantly, I think that I want to use my platform to like explore horror from, from other creators and stuff. So, I did one on trans horror, but I want to explore the history of Black horror, kind of like that movie, the documentary Horror Noir did. And I'm going to have Monty on and Night Watch. And really, I'm just going to be there to ask some questions and stuff, because obviously, like, I want to hear from them. I want to hear, like, which movies meant something to them. What got them into horror? Especially because, like, I have a lot of questions. Like, I know how, from my perspective, I got into horror, and I know what meant something to me, but, like, it's always interesting to hear other people. Like, to me, a lot of horror movies that I watched as a kid weren't that representative. Like, you know, the black guy would always die first and stuff. So how, I want to know, like, you know, what horror movies were different than that? What attracted black audiences to horror movies? And I know, like, movies like Night of the Living Dead, which is one of my favorites too, were a big part of that. Movies like The Thing and movies like They Live. So I'm really excited to hear what Monty and Knight have to say about that, because, yeah, the only way we're going to learn is when we talk to people who know. So there's going to be a lot more of those too. I want to do one on something I do know about firsthand, which is witchcraft and horror. So probably have another witch on, like Maven. And I also want to have my friend on who's a little person and talk about, you know, who also loves horror, like his experiences with horror. Because I think that's the only way we're going to know, is if we, you know, we talk about it. So hopefully you guys are interested in that too. The mariachi band from Dusk Till Dawn, yeah, they are awesome. Becky, thank you so much for watching. I adore you. David, you're my favorite person. He says Vampircon should be made. Read the script. Mark did a great job. Oh, I really hope that happens. I really hope so, because it's such a unique idea. And Warwick's kids, his youngest kid, Harrison, is like 19 now, so he can do horror again. Oh, if you guys haven't heard about Vampircon, it's such a cool, unique idea. It's about a leprechaun that gets bitten by a vampire, and there's so much more to it. I don't want to do it a disservice, but you can Google it and you can read the synopsis and stuff. But yeah, that is so cool. If you ever want to come on and talk about like horror movies that you've made, like Children of the Corn or Leprechaun, or yeah, that's so awesome. I'm so honored that you're watching this show. Thank you, David Price. This means a lot to me. That's so cool. I'm honored that all of you guys are watching, because you could be doing any one of a number of other things right now, but you're here getting nerdy with me about horror movies, so that's really cool. Sandy says, I watched The Feast, and I have to say I didn't enjoy the movie at all. I can say it was different. I felt like an eco-horror. It is an eco-horror movie. It was all over the place. What's up with the suns? That's a hard one to break down. That was one of those movies where I looked up an article, kind of like an ending explained, and they really broke down like all the kills and what the director was trying to do, and that made me really appreciate it more. But I think for me, the reason why The Feast was so good was I really thought this was going to be something I'd seen before, which is a family has a big dinner party and they end up killing the guests. And so when it went in a completely different way, more of like a demonic or I guess eco-god Gaia type way, I didn't see it coming. So I thought that was really cool. And it's gorgeous. The movie's gorgeous. As in Colleen from Rosario Vampire and Sean from Mars Red. They played vampires in anime. That's cool. Tito and the Tarantula, yeah, they played that song After Dark in From Dusk Till Dawn. And I am rooting for Vampircon too. Because I feel like Mark Jones gets it. And I would love to talk to David Price more, because I have a feeling he gets it. But you know, I haven't talked to him much or seen a lot of his interviews, unfortunately, because we just don't get enough interviews from producers. But a movie does not have to change the world. It doesn't have to blow your mind. It's awesome when it does. It's awesome. I mean, I love all the big, you know, horror movies and the ones that have big themes in them, but sometimes a movie can be just enjoyable. And that doesn't mean it's not without substance. There's a lot of themes in Leprechaun and a lot of other B movies. They have substance because they are made by other human beings who have stories to tell. But yeah, like what Darren Lynn Boseman said about wanting to make a Leprechaun movie, he's like, it's just nice to watch movies that were made just to be entertaining. Like they're not trying to be anything more than they are, and I think that's important. You know, I feel like Leprechaun did that. Leprechaun just wanted to be a kind of R-rated horror movie that was accessible to kids, but that, like, you know, obviously adults and stuff could enjoy, that had cartoon sensibilities. So even if you were an adult, it would kind of like, you know, tickle that childhood sensibility in you. You know, it's supposed to be a movie like, I think like Monster Club or something, but, you know, rated R, because, you know, even kids think PG-13 is too soft. So, and I think it accomplished that. It's really funny. It's really funny. It's really cartoony. It's really Scooby-Doo. I love it. I think it's great. I think they 100% accomplished what they wanted to. It's a shame that we didn't get more of it because, you know, and I make jokes in my video about it, but, you know, Trimark, it was their first thing. They were nervous, and Mark Hamill, in all fairness, in his interview, he even says, we didn't know, you know, about who was a good director, what was this. They were just doing the best they could because they didn't want to lose money. But yeah, I wish they would have trusted Mark Jones more and we would have gotten more of that cartooniness. He has the footage though, guys. He has the footage. Release the Jones cut. I gotta see this. I gotta see it in all of its B-movie glory. There's so many great things that got cut out of that movie. So yeah, I'm reiterating so much stuff I covered in my Leprechaun video, so you can watch the video for that. I'm just getting ranty here. Let's see what you're talking about in the chat. Let's see. Off to bed. Good night, Jamie. Thank you for joining me. Oh my goodness, guys, we were supposed to wrap this up at midnight. We were supposed to wrap this up. So much for my subathon. I did get one more subscriber. There we go. Yeah, I'll probably be wrapping this up soon because honestly I have a really sore throat. But yes, Rosario Vampire is the best, Arkham. It's a fun script. Vampircon, like Leprechaun. Oh, I'm so jealous that you gotta read it. I really hope he makes it. I really, really hope he does. Because I think it's something that a lot of people would enjoy. Yeah, Ariel, I heard that there is going to be an Interview with the Vampire series. And I'm really excited about that. I was so disappointed when the original Interview with the Vampire came out in 94, I want to say. I could be wrong about the year. But we were supposed to get the Vampire Lestat, and for some reason that never happened. It never happened. And then years later they jumped to Queen of the Damned without any of the other cast. So it's a bummer. Because I think Vampire Lestat is one of the best books in the Vampire Chronicles. Told Mark to get online so he can see this. Ah, you are so nice. I love that. That makes me so happy. Like that's great. I'm so happy. I feel like I'm kind of friends with David Price now, guys. I feel like we all are because we're all hanging out with David Price. So we have bragging rights now. That's awesome. Yes, release the Jones cut. That would be. Why, guys, why hasn't Leprechaun gotten a special edition release? Leprechaun was a financially successful movie. I don't understand it. Scream Factory and Arrow and Vinegar Syndrome have released so many special edition Blu-rays of, I mean, like Blood Harvest, like some pretty obscure movies, which, you know, I'm glad. Those movies deserve to be released too, but Leprechaun has never had a solo Blu-ray release. It's so weird to me. Like, Arrow even did a special one of, like, Children of the Corn, which, you know, that's, like, in the same line as Leprechaun. Like, they're both great B movies. But Children of the Corn got them. Cujo has. A lot of these movies have. Deadly Friend got one from Scream Factory. And I think Leprechaun made more money than a lot of these movies. But you can't even buy it by itself. You just can't. It's crazy. It's crazy. So this is what I need to happen. This is what I need to happen. I need Scream Factory or Arrow. Vinegar Syndrome probably wouldn't because I really like the really obscure stuff. But Scream Factory or Arrow needs to get on a special edition Blu-ray of just Leprechaun. Just the first one. And give it tons of special features. And then restore the Jones cut. That's what I think needs to happen. And I would 100% shell out money for it. And I think a lot of other people would too. The movie has a cult fan base. So definitely more of a cult fan base than some of the other movies that they've released. So I don't think they're taking a huge chance here. I think it needs to happen. Oh no, you spelled Vampircon wrong. Vampircon. Yeah, you need a P in there. Hey, everything horror. Yeah, Becky knows. Becky knows. I was literally like jumping up and down at when you commented and when Mark Jones commented and when Mark Halton commented. Like, that means so much to me. Like, that movie means a lot to me. Hey, Strange Monkey Reviews. How you doing? Guys, Strange Monkey Reviews also has a really great channel. Very much like the kind of stuff I do. Like, he likes B movies. He has kind of an old school horror host vibe. So absolutely check him out. Ariel says, I always go to the video store when I was a kid renting Alvin and the Chipmunks Go to the Movies on video, and I remember seeing the VH copy of Jekyll and Hyde made in 96. That's cool. Did you watch it? I miss that. I miss... Oh my god! Oh my god! Guys, look! Mark Jones is here too. We got David Price, co-producer of Leprechaun. Also the director of Children of the Corn Part 2. Like, he is a big deal. And Mark Jones, who wrote and directed Leprechaun. He also did Rumpelstiltskin. He also did a lot of other movies. Most of them about, like, little things. Like, he likes Dummies. He likes Rumpelstiltskin. And I really want him to make Vampircon. Make Vampircon. I think I can spell Vampircon. V-A-M-P... This is the hardest spelling test I've ever done. R-E-C-H Vampircon. C-H-A-U-N. I think, is that correct? I think that's correct. I can see it on here now. I didn't look though. I didn't cheat. So I feel like since I did a good job on the Vampircon spelling bee, that should be plenty of incentive to go ahead and get this done. I know there was like some issue with financing, which is a bummer, but I really, really want to see Vampircon. Yeah, Becky, look, Mark Jones is here, for reals, and David Price. This is the craziest thing ever. It's crazy. So yeah, how cool would it be if Mark Jones and David Price came on for a stream sometime? I'm just saying, you have my email. If that's at all interesting to you, I think it would be really fun. I don't even smoke cigars, Mark Jones. I don't even smoke cigars. But I would get some cigars so I could smoke a cigar with you. That's how much that would mean to me. It'd be awesome. We would have a lot of fun too. Because, you know, I like B movies. And you like B movies. And you made some great B movies. Just saying. Okay. Yes, I did totally geek out. Hey, so David Price, is that like a cool, like, you'd maybe want to come on my show and hang out with me, talk to me about some cool stuff? See, here's the problem I'm having right now, David Price, is I really, really, really want to see the Children of the Corn 2 special edition. But Arrow, for some reason, some of the times they release them only in the UK. I need to eventually get a Blu-ray player that plays ones from the UK. But, you know, I could talk to you and I could get all of the juicy information that's on that Blu-ray that I need in my brain. So, I don't know. It'd just be really cool to talk about it. Dory has been fangirling over David Price and Mark Jones for days straight. Yeah, guys, you know, don't make me look uncool. They're here watching. Come on, guys. Like, talk me up a little bit. See? I spelled it correctly. That's great, right? So since I passed the spelling bee, I feel like it's time to make Vampircon. If you don't mind me asking, like, is it progressing, or are we gonna get the Vampircon, you think? Because, you know, Warwick's kid, Harrison, the youngest one, he's 19 now. So I think he'd be down to do it. I don't know. I really, really want to see it. I really hope it happens. Yes, let's do it with Mark. So, okay. All right, Mark Jones. David Price is down. All right? I'm going to get some cigars. I don't know what kind of cigars are good, but you know what? I'm going to get some. I'll research this even. And you and David Price are welcome to come on my show. We can hang out, talk about horror, smoke a stogie. It's going to be awesome. And yeah, we can talk about your movies. We can talk about Vampircon. And just other great, great questions that I'm sure the chat will have. Because I'm just going to be really excited. But yes, you know what? I'm going to email you. I'm going to take a chance. Just like I took a chance and emailed you the first time. Yeah. I'm super excited. Guys, say some stuff that's convincing. To, you know. Yeah, it's a good show. You should totally do it. You know. Help me out here. Hey, DMC Campbell, how's it going? And I am great at spelling. Thank you, honey. Thank you. I'd pay to see that. Yeah! Guys, how cool is David Price? How cool is David Price? He is the coolest. Okay, David Price. Let's see. How is the best way to get a hold of you, Mr. Price? Like, do you have an email? Are you on Twitter? Should I ask Mark Jones for your email? I don't know. Let me know. I know. Strange Monkey, I need to get a region-free player. I need to get on that because, like, they also did a great Arrow release of Cujo, which I love. Cujo, I think that's a great film. There's so many ones that Arrow has released that unfortunately are only in the UK, so I just need to get a region-free player. Plus, there are other special editions that are not even Arrow that I need. So, yeah. Becky says, what? That's so crazy. That is crazy, Becky. That's so crazy. And Ariel says she enjoyed my Leprechaun video and watching Scooby-Doo as a kid on USA. I love Scooby-Doo too. And I love Scrappy too. I don't know why Scrappy gets so much hate. I've always liked Scrappy. But yeah, I don't like Flim Flam. But even then, I still like 13 Nights of Scooby-Doo. Or 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo because it had Vincent Price in it. So you can't go wrong with Scooby. Mark says yes, but he's seeing it but can't hear it. Oh my goodness. That's so crazy. Message you via YouTube. Okay, I will. That's so great. Okay, I'm gonna be cool. I'm gonna be cool. I'm gonna be cool. What? I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm not... Yeah, whatever. I talk to people who make movies like Leprechaun all the time. Totally normal day for me. Yeah, no big deal. Yeah, totally not gonna fangirl and make it awkward for you guys. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. I like Fangface too. Ah, David Price hated Scrappy. Mark Jones wrote those episodes, dude. It's cool. You can still be friends with him. Do you like Fangface? Because he did write the first episode of Fangface. I'm very curious to know this. Okay, I don't know about cigars, but Kevin says to get Romeo and Julieta cigars. All right. Thanks, because I need recommendations, so I look super impressive. I do need a region-free player, Mare. I do. I know I do. Hey, Fairpoint Station. How do you direct a B movie and cast the perfect online porn stars as getting killed? For that, you need to talk to the director of Evil Toons, because he did that. So I don't know, because I didn't direct or write Evil Toons, but they would know. Strange Monkey, I hope we can collaborate in the future too. That would be super fun. Strange Monkey was on the Oscars, which was really fun. Hey, Fairpoint Station. I'm having lots of fun, but I do have a sore throat. I'm worried I'm going to lose my voice, but I'm having a lot of fun hanging out with you guys. This is super cool. So hopefully you guys are having fun too. Let's see. Let's see how that subathon is going. We got another subscriber. Yeah! The road to 2K. We're at 1,826 subscribers. That's awesome. That's really cool. Very cool. Thanks, guys. So if you're not subscribed and you're having a good time, you want to see more stuff, maybe hit the subscribe button. Maybe ring the bell. You can always change your mind later. It's not a contract. So, Strange Monkey did do an awesome job at the Oscars. Awesome job indeed. Awesome job. Sorry, guys. I need to drink something because my throat hurts. Fair point. Some people enjoy that for their job. Yeah, I didn't write Evil Tunes. I just wish that I did write Evil Tunes. Like, that would be bragging rights. But I didn't. I haven't written any cool movies yet. There's always time. There's always time. Okay, guys, write this down. Mark Jones says the cigars he likes are any good Connecticut Asylum. That sounds cool. And Nub, Connecticut. Who knew that Connecticut was the place to get cigars? All right, hopefully I can find these online. That's so cool. Guys, do you know what this means? I potentially will end up smoking a cigar with Mark Jones and David Price. This sounds like the coolest thing ever. I'm so excited. All right, I'm going to follow up on this. But yeah, really exciting things could be happening on this channel very soon. Have I ever seen David Price's first film, Son of Darkness? I'm going to Google it. So it had... no, I haven't seen this. And there's a Son of Darkness 2? How do I not know about the Son of Darkness movie? Oh, wait, no, this is Son of Darkness To Die For 2. Is that the right one? You know what? I'm going to find out. I'm going to go to IMDb. Who did... Yeah, he did. Okay, so Son of Darkness To Die For... So, To Die For 2... Is it a sequel to the Nicole Kidman movie? No, because that came out later. Okay, let's look at the synopsis. Vampires come to town. Who's a vampire? Who's not? Ask our main character who is suspicious, and our main character's brother who gets seduced by one. That sounds awesome. So here's what I'm confused about. So it's about vampires, and on the front, there's a vampire, but there's also a baby. A baby. I think it's a baby. Definitely looks like a baby, and you can see the baby's butt. You guys gotta Google this. Hush, little baby, don't you bite. Daddy's gonna get you some blood tonight. Horror movies, like, I like killer baby movies. I don't think there's gonna be a killer baby in this, but Daddy's gonna get you some blood tonight, which implies that the baby might be a vampire. That would be the coolest thing ever. Okay, so where do you find this? Let's see. Let's go to Just Watch and find out where to watch this movie. Son of Darkness. Now I really want to see it. Nuts. So, David Price. Where do you watch Son of Darkness? Maybe I can find it on Amazon. I'm going to take a look. All right. David, don't try to jump credits. She's talking to me about Leprechaun. You guys are so cool. Thank you so much. That's so cool. You can tell that these guys are friends. This is awesome. Yeah, I really want to see Son of Darkness. I'm going to have to check that out. So, yeah. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, I do want to talk to you about Leprechaun. And I want to talk to you about Vampircon. So excited. I'm so excited. YouTube. It's on YouTube? Guys, Son of Darkness is on YouTube. We could be watching that right now. kind of want to watch it. All right, I'm going to watch it when I'm done here. And Fairpoint Station, they've got the information. David Price, did your dad work on Battlestar Galactica? And he says, it's all about Mark, laugh out loud. Yeah, I need to watch more Mark Jones movies too, because I have seen Leprechaun and Rumpelstiltskin, but I know he did one called Scorned recently that I haven't seen, so I need to check that out. Arkham sent me a copy of Son of Darkness to my Twitter messages, so I can watch that tonight. And Lion Queen says, they love my review of Happy Birthday to Me. Thank you very much. That was the first All the Gory Details I did on this channel. And, you know, something I'm still working on, like the format of it and stuff, because I always worry that people, like, I write these and they end up being really long. And then I'm worried that people aren't going to be interested. But I was really happy with the Leprechaun one. It's the longest one I've done. It was 45 minutes. And people watched it. So, like, that's super cool. And since Mark Jones is here, you will be happy to know, when I was doing my research, I came across a lot of trivia on IMDb that was incorrect. And an article in Screen Rant that I showed in my video that were incorrect. Well, I wrote to the editor of Screen Rant. I saw that they've changed the article, so that misinformation isn't out there from them anymore. And then I contacted IMDb, and they removed it from the trivia. So, little by little, we are educating the world about Leprechaun. So I'm pretty excited. And hopefully my video will get out there and more people will learn that, you know, the cereal was always Lucky Clovers. The line at the end of the movie, fuck you, Lucky Charms, was always in the script. So, you know, now you guys know. There was never any comic book it was based on. There's a lot of misconceptions about Leprechaun out there. Mark Jones says, David's dad was head of the studio when Glenn Larson created Battlestar Galactica, who actually gave me my first job in primetime television. Wow, you guys go way back. Wow, even before Leprechaun. That is cool. See, guys, this is cool. This is the stuff you're not going to hear about in even special features. Like, this is awesome. Vampires or werewolves? That's a tough one. It depends on the movie. I tend to give more of a chance to a lot of werewolf movies just because I don't see as many of them. So I'll watch just about any werewolf movie, where I'm a little more picky about vampire movies just because I see so many of them. But yeah, it really depends. It really depends. I mean, I love like American Wolf in London. Vampire movies, I love Fright Night. Like that would be really hard. In that case, it would be vampires. But then if you're going to compare something like B movie level, like Bad Moon, to a vampire B movie like Bitten, then I would give it to the werewolf. So it really just depends on the movie. David Price says, my dad was the head of Universal Television. That is awesome. You're probably just a wealth of information then. That's so cool. A cigar smoking watch party is Son of Darkness? Honestly, I'd be so happy to have them on the show. We'll do whatever they want to do. So we'll see. But yeah, I really want to check that out. I'm probably going to watch that as soon as we're done here. That is so cool. Okay, let's take a look here. Let's take a look. So David Price, he did Senator. Oh, guys. Okay, you know what? I have seen that you've done, David Price. I have seen Dr. Jekyll and Ms. Hyde, and I really like that one. That movie is so much fun. I have seen that. And he directed that. And he had a small part in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. All right, now let's look at Leprechaun. I think I'm pretty much familiar with everything Mark Jones has done, but let's take a peek. So Mark Jones, let's see. Let's look at movies he directed. So Mark Jones, he just did a nature series, a TV series documentary called Nature. I haven't seen that. I've heard Scorned was good. I need to watch that. Triloquist, see, he does a lot of things. This is what I mean. He does a lot of things like little things. Things that are smaller than your average size person, like Triloquist. That one's about a dummy. I have not seen that one, but I need to. He did a movie called Quiet Kill I haven't seen. He did 2 episodes of a TV series called The Nightman and a TV movie called The Nightman. And he's credited as being on Joe Bob's Drive-In Theater. Were you a guest on Joe Bob and I missed it? Okay, I need to track that down. Oh no, he directed an episode. That's so cool. That's so cool. And obviously he directed Leprechaun. That's so cool. And he plays a part in Scorned and a part in Triloquist. And he's in the diner at Leprechaun. That's crazy. And then obviously he's written a ton of stuff. Like a lot of stuff. Like TV shows. A lot of really cool stuff in here. And I couldn't even cover all of this stuff in my video. But he's done a lot of stuff. Alright. Wow, David Price is dead. Greenlit Battlestar Galactica. That's awesome. Very good decision there. And if I need to find a copy of the movie, you're the person to talk to. Absolutely. So yeah, I need to find a copy of that movie. Ariel says, I remember watching the show on Sci-Fi and I remember the robot dog. Arkham says, I can't wait to see if you would do a review of Vampire Assassin. Just ask RLM if they can give you one of their 1,000,000 copies that fans sent them. I have so many things I need to do. You know what's really funny is recently I bought a movie, PMS Cop, and I found it on eBay, and I bought it, and then the person I bought it from was like, by the way, I directed this. So, like, it's crazy. You just never know who you're buying the movie from, it's really cool. But I still need to review that one, too. LionQueer06, would you ever do a review of Are You Afraid of the Dark, Carnival of Doom, or Book of Shadows? Probably not the show. I do a lot of B movie stuff, but if you're talking of Book of Shadows, the Blair Witch one, that is absolutely something I probably would do, because the problem with Book of Shadows wasn't really the people who wanted the people who wrote and directed it. It was the studio really didn't understand what they were going for, and they really tried to make it into something. They tried to make it into the Blair Witch. So that's unfortunately what happens to a lot of movies, is the producers will hire a director and they'll hire a writer, but then they don't trust their vision, and then they meddle because they think they know what's best and they know what's going to make money, and then it ruins something that could have been great. In the case of Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows, that's exactly what happened. Yeah, he says Fast Times at Ridgemont High, 9 to 5 and Mommy Dearest were his acting gigs. But you did Dr. Jekyll and Ms. Hyde. That's a good one. I remember getting that from the video store. It's really funny. And I love Battlestar Galactica. The remake was okay, but it didn't have Jane Seymour. A lot of love for Battlestar Galactica. Guys, how crazy is it that son of the guy who greenlit that is in the chat right now? That's crazy. And he smoked cigars with Mark Jones. And they both made Leprechaun. Like, I'm still processing all of this. It's pretty awesome. David, Ariel wants to know, did you work with Sean Young, her 90s role model? So Mark Jones says Scorned was actually a pretty cool movie. It starred Annalyn McCord, who did a great job. Triloquist was a very weird movie designed to be very bizarre. You should take a look at it. I want you, a lot of the interviews I found of yours when I was doing my research for the Leprechaun video were about Scorned. So that's one I really want to check out. I have seen Rumpelstiltskin though. But yeah, I need to watch Triloquist and Scorned, because I also really like, even though they creep me out, I like dummy movies. I know that's what Triloquist is. So yeah, I've got like a little movie marathon all planned now. That's so crazy. That's so cool. Wow. And guys, we're going to find out about what's going on with Vampircon. Vampircon. I really need to see Vampircon. I think that sounds great. But yeah, I mean, guys, this is just what I've been talking about. Like, it is really hard to get a movie made. Like, you have an idea, and then you have to get financing, and then you have to find people to be in it, and it's hard, you know. My cousin is a screenwriter, and he tells me about it all the time, and I think that's part of why I'm a lot more appreciative, I think, some movies that maybe other people write off, because it's not easy. And about the only time I ever kind of give up on a movie is when I feel like it was just made to make money, which you come across those a lot. But a lot of movies have a lot more heart behind them than I think people realize. Like, you know, Leprechaun, when I was researching that one, like, you know, a lot of passion went into that movie, and it accomplishes what it set out to. So I think Leprechaun's great. David Price says, yes, I did. Sean was in Dr. Jekyll and Ms. Hyde. Well, there you go, Ariel. That's awesome. Uh-oh. I'm almost out of LaCroix. Oh, no. Scorned was very good. Wow. So David Price's Scorn was Mark Jones' best work in his opinion. That's crazy, because that's a pretty high bar, because he's done some good movies. I'm gonna have to check out Scorned. Okay, so I'm making a list. Scorned, Triloquist, Son of Darkness. All right. We have a lineup. I'm having a movie marathon. Tomorrow is my day off work. I'm watching some movies. Might watch one of them tonight. Okay, so Zombie Whisperer wants to know slow or fast zombies. I'll be honest. If a zombie was running at me, that would scare the hell out of me. And I think there are, as far as watching them, there are a lot of movies I think that have done it really well. I really like Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead remake. I think it's a great movie. So I don't hate fast zombies, and I think if the body's not super decayed, it does make sense. But as far as slow zombies go, there is something really creepy and unsettling, especially with like the George Romero ones where they're like decaying and stuff. And maybe they're not as scary individually, but it's kind of like what they do in Walking Dead. Then you get like a horde of them. So yeah, you might be able to outrun them, but they kind of do like that wolf pack thing where they just kind of envelop you in this horde. So I think both of them are really scary. And I also think it would be easier for a slow zombie to, like, you know, find its way to where you are without you hearing them. So I think they absolutely both have their place in horror. And there's absolutely great movies of both. Another one I really like, I know 28 Days was more of a virus, but that one is a really scary movie too. It really just depends on how it's executed, because I've seen a ton of zombie movies, and I've seen one that was really bad was when my friend was in Zombie 8 Urban Harvest. You know, that was slow zombies, and I guess it wasn't very good. The best part of it was Ronnie Angel, my buddy who was in it, but you know, it really just depends on the movie and how it's done. But I think they're both really awesome. And Ariel, she was pregnant. How you can't tell. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Curse of Shadows. There are only 3 episodes. The 2 revival seasons they did are about an hour each. I did see that revival is Lion Queen. Is this the one that was on TV where it was like a carnival? If that's the one, then I have seen that. Scott Jeffrey has shown that you can produce 30 to 40 movies a year. Look at IMDb when it comes to his producing, directing credits. Yeah, and, you know, I think a lot of people can produce a lot of work. Like, Stephen King does a new book every year, and obviously he's very passionate about his work. But then, you know, like, I'm not super into the Asylum movies, because I feel like I feel like those are just made because, you know, I feel like they're made pretty cheaply and they're made with not out a lot of thought into them. Granted, I haven't looked into these movies, so I'm certainly not, you know, I'm not an expert on it, but yeah, those are the movies I'm a little more iffy about. Curse of Shadows has 6 episodes where Carnival of Doom is 3. I'll have to look into that. Whatever Gory had on her watch list just got bumped way down. I find time to watch a lot of movies. So I haven't watched a lot of movies this month. I did watch Studio 666, and the really sad thing is I watched the movie, and then the very next day I found out that the drummer from Foo Fighters died, which was really sad because it's like you finally got this peek into, you know, this band as like characters in a movie, and you get attached to them, and it was really bizarre that news came like the next day. But I'm glad that at least they have the movie. I mean, now he's immortalized in this movie, and I think the movie's really funny. I think his part in it was great. So yeah, it's a bummer, but I am glad that they were at least able to make that movie. Have I heard of the Camp Blood movies? I've heard that they're kind of like Friday the 13th ripoffs. Is that about right? Wow, we've been streaming for 2 hours. I probably should wrap this up soon. It is really late. It's 1 now. And I'm having a lot of fun. And David Price is here, which, you know, and Mark Jones is here. So it's pretty exciting. Let's see if my subscribers have gone up. Okay, we're still at 1,826. So let's see. I'll add 10 more minutes on if we get another subscriber. Then we can justify it. Okay, wow. You guys have had a lot of really good questions today, and I'm really enjoying the conversation. Let's see, what did we talk about? We talked about comfort horror movies. We talked to David Price. We talked to Mark Jones. We talked about their movies. We have a watch list, so consider this a book club, guys. For our stream with David Price and Mark Jones, which I can't promise, but it sounds like they're on board. I will have to talk to them. We need to watch Scorned, Triloquist, and Son of Darkness. That is your homework. So, gory hole homework there for you. Gory, not glory. That's a totally different hole. Not on this channel. All right. All right, let's check my subscriber count, see what's going on. All right, we haven't got any more. We can stick around for a little bit more. And David says, thank you. Great to watch and hear what people have to say. Yeah, I think that's really cool, and I'm really glad that you told me about that movie because it does sound like something that I would enjoy that I wouldn't have known to look up before. So I'm excited to check these out. I'm excited to not only talk about Leprechaun, which I think a lot of people have seen, but maybe some of these movies that people haven't seen. And Dr. Jekyll Hyde, I still remember renting that from Blockbuster. That was really fun. That was a fun movie. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited that we have homework and that some people who are watching now will hopefully check out some movies they haven't seen before. If you guys have already seen these movies, let me know. But yeah, I'm excited to check them out. And I'm excited to find out about VampireCon because that just sounds like the best thing ever. So yeah, I'm excited, guys. I keep saying excited, but in all fairness, we've been streaming for 2 hours, and my verbiage is not good after 2 hours. So even though I'm having a lot of fun, and I am so mind blown that David Price and Mark Jones are here, I'm probably gonna have to wrap it up because I think I'm gonna lose my voice. Because I did a whole stream before this one on Craving Something Scary, which was really fun. All right, so. Till 1:05. You guys have any last minute questions you want to ask or anything that you want to talk about before I go? Alrighty. Try to watch the To Die For movie soon. So, yeah, David Price. So, it's a sequel to, it's To Die For 2. So, my question for you is, do I need to watch the first one, or can I just watch Son of Darkness? Because sometimes a lot of these franchises will make a sequel and there's absolutely no tie-in to it. So, yeah, let me know if I need to watch the first one. Ariel says, David Price, because that one guy who reviewed Dr. Jekyll and Miss Hyde, Staunch TV, can he get your autograph? I don't know, that's up to him. But somebody reviewed it? That's cool. Sounds like they like B movies too. I'm just going to put To Die For on here, unless David Price says that we don't need to watch it. Because it's a horror movie, so. No, you can just watch 2. I'm just going to watch 2 then. Okay, so what do we got in this To Die For movie? Son of Darkness. We got vampires. We got a baby. Is there a vampire baby? Because I'm really hoping there's a vampire baby. Can you tell me if there is without spoiling it? I don't know. I really am hoping for a vampire baby. But, I mean, if there's not, that's fine. You know, there's plenty of time left in the world for me to see a vampire baby movie. You know, maybe it's just not going to happen, you know, this year. But maybe it will happen next year. And that's all we can keep hoping for, guys. Every year we don't have a Vampircon or a vampire baby movie. There's always next year. And there's always filmmakers who might bring that, you know, to our eyeballs, either through VOD or at the cinema. I'm just saying there's hope, you know? All right. But watch the first one for fun. All right, I'm going to do it. All right, so we need to put down To Die For 2. To Die For 1. All right, so I've got 4 movies to watch. I'm going to watch them tomorrow. Yes. And hopefully I will email Mark Jones and message David Price and plan a stream. And hopefully they'll come on here and smoke cigars with me and talk about horror movies. And then hopefully we'll find some cool trivia out about all of these movies that we're going to watch for our homework. So guys, this is like school. I'm Professor Gory. This is your homework. And I will see you back here when we do that interview. So please subscribe to the channel. Ring that bell. So then you know if we're going to do a live stream or something that we're live and you don't miss out on that. Because that sounds like it's going to be really cool. Guys! Okay, this is what he says. Yes, a cross vampire human. And it's a baby. I am so embarrassed that I have not seen this movie before. That's all going to change, guys. It's all going to change. And we're going to watch Scorned. We're going to watch Son of Darkness. We're going to watch Triloquist. And our lives are going to be better for it, guys. Our lives are going to be better for it. It was so great to see you, Ariel. Yeah, I wish I could stream all day, but I think we all need to go to sleep. Thanks, honey. So that's Danny Nightmare, everyone. If you didn't know, you know, it's my husband. He's pretty great over at Horror Addicts. Definitely check out Horror Addicts if you want to see more content from me, if you want to see Danny, if you want to see stuff that we do together. You know, our kids on there too. It's pretty great. Our pets are on there too. And Ariel says, I did remember watching Dr. Jekyll and Miss Hyde on home video and on Cinemax. Yeah, I rented it from Blockbuster, and I still have fond memories of that. So, yeah, it's a good one. Now we need a movie with a vampire baby and Billy Zane. Yeah, you know, I just want more varieties of babies. I got a zombie baby in the Dawn of the Dead remake. I got a werewolf baby kind of in Fangface. I still need a little more werewolf baby. Sounds like I'm going to get a vampire baby. Yeah, just more varieties of babies. So if you guys are screenwriters, or you're making movies or whatever, that would be my request. Just a little more variety of babies in horror movies. Because I do love me some killer baby movies. Okay. Thank you so much, David Price. You and Mark Jones made my night. I will be messaging you. Thank you. It was such an honor that you guys tuned in for the stream, and such an honor that all the rest of you guys tuned in. It's just awesome to hang out with the horror community, to talk to you guys and just have a conversation, hang out and talk about horror. So we will be doing this again soon. And until we meet again, blessed be.